Story named The Lighthouse. In a quiet town overshadowed by unemployment, rising school dropout rates, and disappearing hope, there stood an abandoned warehouse with broken windows and rusted doors. Most people walked past it without a second glance, except for one woman, Amina Rahman. Amina had grown up in that very neighborhood. She had watched the streets lose their laughter, watched young people fall into hopelessness, and felt the community slowly crumble under hardship. After returning from university, she promised herself one thing. If change is going to come, it must start with us. And so, with only $1,200 in savings, a borrowed desk, and 3 volunteers, she founded a nonprofit called The Lighthouse, a place meant to bring light back to lives dimmed by struggle. The old warehouse was cleaned, painted, and turned into a simple community center. There are no fancy chairs, no technology, no air conditioning, just determination. The first program Amina launched was a free evening tutoring service for struggling students. On the first day, only 4 children showed up, but within a month, that number grew to 40. Parents began to notice their children's grades improving. Teachers called to ask what the Lighthouse was doing differently. The answer was simple. We don't just teach them, we believe in them. As more families got involved, Amina noticed another problem. Many children were coming to class hungry. So she created a small food initiative called the Warm Plate. Volunteers cooked simple meals every evening. What started with feeding 10 children soon grew into a full community kitchen, feeding 300-plus people every week. Local farmers donated vegetables. Restaurants gave leftovers. Schools ran food drives. The entire community joined hands. Hope was slowly returning. Amina knew education and food were only the first steps. To truly transform the town, young people needed skills, purpose, and opportunity. The Lighthouse introduced free computer training, job readiness workshops, small entrepreneurship classes, sports and leadership clubs. Within 2 years, more than 120 young adults who had once been unemployed were now working in offices, restaurants, and local businesses. Some even started their own shops. The cycle of poverty was breaking. As the programs grew, so did the community's spirit. Graffiti-covered walls turned into colorful murals painted by youth. Abandoned parks became playgrounds again. Crime rates dropped by 40% in 3 years. School graduation rates rose from 62% to 89%. People often said, the Lighthouse didn't just help us, it rebuilt us. And they were right. 5 years after the day Amina first walked into the abandoned warehouse, the Lighthouse had 350 active volunteers, over 2,000 families served, 3 community centers, a scholarship program, partnerships with local businesses and universities. When a national newspaper wrote a headline, "One small nonprofit revives an entire town," Amina finally allowed herself to smile. Not because of the recognition, not because of the growth, but because her community finally believed in itself again. People often asked Amina what the secret was. She always replied with the same answer. We didn't give people charity. We gave them opportunity. And once people believe in their own potential, they can change their world. The Lighthouse became more than a nonprofit. It became a symbol of what can happen when ordinary people decide to do extraordinary things. Glowing Star Final Message, **. This is the story of a nonprofit that transformed a community not through money, but through compassion, persistence, and unity. A reminder that change doesn't start with resources. Change starts with people. And even a single light can brighten an entire town.